the spokesperson, Mr. Ndlela, the spokesperson of the MK party, has responded to the allegations made by Madam Mary Party against the deputy president of the MK party, Mr. Hlophe. Yeah. So he has responded. Of course, they had to respond, and it's interesting what Mr. Ndlela has to say. It's very interesting, and I want you guys to listen to him. And I don't even want to interject. I don't even want to share my opinion, because this is none of my business, and this, my opinion, is not gonna be, I don't think it's gonna be fair, because like, it's a tough situation and it's a hard conversation to have. But I want you guys to listen, and I want you guys, you're gonna make your own judgment. Ndlela had to put it in his own. Some say he was too arrogant. I don't know, man. Listen.
How is the party handling or addressing this matter that has been put forward by Ms. Party?
Well, I think let's start with the genesis of what led to where we're at. Mary Party is a leader at the time who was appointed by the national officials, and more so also by President Zuma. And she was entrusted with a role of setting up the structures within Mpumalanga and also being the party leader in the legislature. It's unfortunate that at the time, when the national officials wanted her to hand over the accounts of the legislature, that she totally refused to hand over the accounts. And the reason for the request to hand over the accounts is that as a party, we're putting in processes in place. We need to centralize all the accounts so as to ensure that we manage this organization professionally, as part of professionalizing it. Now, there were certain reports that came through from Mpumalanga that not only on the issue of, the financial misconduct, if we should say, there were also other issues of, her attending meetings, wielding guns, backed by goons in these meetings, and intimidating people. This is also something that we should note, that at one point she was arrested. If people don't know, Mary Party was arrested. And the reason for her arrest was that, she had made certain comments that were such that she wanted to get certain people assassinated. And the police got a hold of this information. There was recordings, and she was locked in. I remember at one point, Mary Party called me because she was concerned that this was going to blow over into the media, and she wanted to know how she should handle it. I've got SMSs that can show that. So Mary Party must not be painted as a person who is innocent here. Mary Party, in actual fact, was given an opportunity to make representations to the national leadership, of which she totally, again, denied to do so. She was given an opportunity. She was given an opportunity in light of those transgressions and her being in defiance to then step down. She didn't want to step down.
All right.
And we took a decision as national officials and the president to then terminate and to recall her. That's when then she obviously went to court. Now, leading up to that, the deputy president, alongside other leaders of the party, was sent there to deal with this crisis, even prior to her being terminated. And the report came back with recommendations, and those recommendations pointed to all these other things I've just mentioned, and even other things which I don't want to touch or get into, because, we're going through a process. And that report basically made a recommendation that she be terminated. And off the back of that, one thing that you should know is that as part of the analysis, the political analysis, the situational analysis in the province, the judge in this case with the team had to engage with two different factions, if you will, and hear both sides of the story. And, to consolidate and to stabilize the organization in the province, that recommendation was made, and that's it, and that's why we're here.
You've painted a picture of the internal dynamics within the MK, but as things stand, there is a very serious allegation leveled against the deputy leader of the party, and this is a matter that the general public of South Africa are going to be concerned about and want to know whether the party is addressing it, given the state of gender-based violence in South Africa, and so it's a matter that cannot be downplayed. So I'm going to ask you again, is the party dealing and addressing this matter in relation to Dr. Hlophe allegedly having sexually harassed Ms. Padi?
You know, as you said it, this is a sensitive matter. And Mkhonto Sizwe and the leadership, we take such matters very, very seriously. And in light of that, you know, it's sensitive both in terms of what you said, the challenges that we're faced with as a society, with GBV perspective, but also sensitive politically, naturally, because as you said, this is the deputy president. So we need to look into that. We're taking this very seriously. Obviously, this is something that was brought forward off the back of what seemed to be a letter from her. I've never seen the actual letter or the confirmation that the president did receive this letter. You know, so one can also not confirm that it actually is a letter from her, even though she may say that this is what it is.
Well, she does state it.
Well,
for
yeah,
the record.
Well, I'm just saying
that
formally
it has been sent to.
No, formally
President
from our end, we haven't received that letter. Is what I'm saying. So we cannot be taking and responding to a letter that's just we've seen in social media. If that is the case, then we'll take this seriously. But I think going back to the seriousness of the issue, which we should not underplay, we take this matter very seriously, and we're going to look into it.
All right. I just want, so that it doesn't appear as though I'm her mouthpiece, I'd like for you to listen to her saying that she has addressed this matter to President Zuma, and let's have a listen.
It is an internal letter that I was sending to the president to say, President, I think whatever that is happening, it is the reason behind the messages that I received, and I had denied that the deputy president the opportunity to be able to speak to me further than the way he did.
Yeah.
And indeed, I could tell that it did not sit well with them.
The matter, Mr. Ndlela, is quite public now. Has the party called Dr. Hlophe to allow him the time to take the party into his confidence about what actually happened and whether he did indeed send text messages that Ms. Padi claims are in her possession right now?
Well, firstly, the deputy president's position is very simple. And that is, there is no such messages that were sent. That's the first point. The second point is, even though that is the case, the DP will obviously take us into his confidence. This is something that has just, sort of blown up in the media. So we will then engage with the judge, at the right time. But as I said, we take this matter seriously. And that's what we need to focus on. But I think one of the things that we need to take in consideration here is that, we're trying to stabilize the organization as Mkhonto Sizwe leadership. We've got an organization here that needs to gear up for local government 2026 elections. We cannot have a situation where we have rogue elements of individuals who don't take instructions from leadership. And this is exactly what's happening with Mary here. Mary has been in defiance of the organization. You can't, when you're recalled or requested to hand over accounts, and think you're going to manage, those accounts as though they're your own personal piggy bank.